To sculpt landscapes using splines in Unreal Engine, first swap from selection mode to landscape. Then go ahead and pick your size and hit create. Then under your sculpt tools, select the blueprint icon. And if your blueprint brushes are empty, then come to the plugin section, search for Landmass, and make sure this plugin is enabled. If you enable it, you might have to restart your editor. Once you have that, under the blueprint brushes, let's go ahead and select Custom Brush Landmass. Then you can click anywhere in your map to add your first spline. Once you have your spline, you can go ahead and drag it up, and you'll see it'll begin to create a mountain. In the right-hand menu, you're going to see a brush settings option, and we can adjust the brush type from Landmass Outline to Spline. With Spline selected, we can edit each point individually and even extrude along the points. If we hold the Alt key and pick along an axis, you'll notice we actually extend out the spline. With this new spline created, I can actually move it into position, and you'll notice some handles will actually generate as well. We can click on these handles and actually move them into position to create interesting rotations. Going back to the original spline, if I want to extrude along the normals of the actual spline, I can press Ctrl tilde to adjust the pivot point, and then hold Alt and continue dragging out. From here we can create interesting shapes and actually begin to create our mountain or even canyons if we want to. With our mountain created, we can make some adjustments using the Details panel on the right-hand side inspector, but we need to select the entire spline. So if we press Escape, and then we click on the spline again, then we can actually come down and adjust the fall-off options. Currently the angle is 45 degrees, but we can use something like 30 to make it more gradual, or we can increase the angle to make it more dramatic. We'll stick with 45 for now. If we scroll down, there is a curl noise strength for 1 and 2. Adjusting this value will get you some randomness to your actual mountains. Try for something subtle, and then adjust the curl strength noise 2, and you can get some interesting shapes just like that. If you come down further, there's a displacement option. Adjusting this value will also add some noise to your randomness. Once you find a value, you can also just bring it back and divide by 2 until you find something that actually makes sense and works for your scene. This looks pretty good for a mountain, but let's actually see what this looks like as a canyon. You can simply scroll up, and there's a checkbox to invert the shape. Enabling that will actually bring the shape down, and if we scroll all the way out, we can grab the gizmo in the Z-axis and drag it up to create our canyon. If we go back from landscape mode back to selection mode, we can now select our landscape and maybe add a material to it. And just like that, you can quickly and easily carve canyons and mountains using splines with the Landmass plugin from Epic Games.